All right, hello, my little third grade friends. We're still working with the long E sound. We will be reading a story together about Jane Goodall. Whenever you hear any long E sounds in our story, I want you to clap your hands. Remember, I want you to look for our spelling patterns that we've been using for the long E sound, E-A, E-E, and E-Y. All three of those spellings make the long E sound. Whenever you hear a long E sound in one of our words, I want you to get a clap. If your parents are wondering what you're doing, just say, I'm reading with Mrs. Kelly, and I'm listening for the long E sound. So, here we go. Jane Goodall by Rod Harrington. A little toy chimp. Look, Jane, called Jane's father. He gave his baby girl a toy chimp for her second birthday. Friends claimed that the chimp would make Jane have bad dreams, but Jane liked the toy. No one could know then that soon Jane Goodall would change how everybody thought about chimps. Jane Goodall was born in England in 1934. She grew up reading books about animals. By age 11, she knew she wanted to go to Africa. Her mother told her to work hard and she would find a way. She worked and saved her money. She went to Africa when she was 23 years old. Caption: It took a long time for the chimps to trust Jane. In Africa, Jane met Dr. Louis Leakey. He was a scientist who studied how people lived in the past. Dr. Leakey gave Jane a job. Jane worked with him for a while. Dr. Leakey told Jane about chimps. He wanted to gather information about how they lived. Jane made a decision to study the chimps in the rainforest. Caption: Mary and Louis Leakey study animal bones and teeth. In 1960, Jane went to Africa. She brought her mother with her. She went to work watching the chimps. At first, Jane had to be careful. If she came too close, chimps would notice her. Seeing a strange person might scare them. Jane waited and watched from far away. Little by little, chimps paid less attention to her. Jane moved closer. Caption: Jane waits and watches as the chimps go about their daily life. Learning in the jungle. One day, Jane saw a strange thing. Two chimps had picked twigs from a tree. They peeled leaves off the twigs and used those twigs to fish for bugs from a nest. Jane saw these chimps made tools. Before, everybody thought only humans made tools. Jane wrote about how smart chimps were. Jane watched the chimps work and play together. At times, they sat beside each other. Then they brushed each other's hair. Other times, she saw them throw food just like babies throw toys. Sometimes a mother chimp came over carrying a sleepy baby chimp on her back. Caption: At the end of the day, a mother chimp will play with her babies. Jane saw different emotions from chimps. Some acted funny, some acted shy. Chimps surprised her too. Some began to battle, but others were sweet and peaceful. Jane gave them all names. A baby chimp named Mel had no family. Spindle was a single male. He was not much older than Mel, but Spindle cared for Mel. Caption: A mother chimp cuddles her baby. Dr. Leakey had asked Jane to spend 10 years studying chimps. She studied in Africa much longer. Today, Jane writes and gives speeches. She tells about how people can help the chimps. Chimps live in rainforests. Rainforests are being cut down. Protection of rainforest will save chimps. Caption: Rainforests are home to many kinds of plants and wildlife. In 1977, Jane started a group. Its purpose is to keep studying and helping chimps in Africa. It also teaches about helping people, animals, and the places where they live. It all began with a toy chimp and a little girl. She still has that toy chimp in her home. It is important to Jane that we care for all life on Earth. Thank you for listening. I hope you found a lot of long E sounds in our story. Have a good weekend. I'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.